Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Castello, board certified family practice with CastelloWellness.com, and we're going to talk about short-term and long-term memory and a trick to help you remember things. So short-term memory is the stuff that you're doing right now. So repeating a phone number you heard on the radio until you can get to your phone and make that phone call, that's short-term memory. An hour later, you have no idea what that phone number is because you didn't save it in your long-term memory. That Simon game where you push the colored button and then push 2 buttons and 3 buttons and 25 buttons in a row, that's classic short-term memory. As long as you're doing that loop, it's available to you. If you get up and go to the bathroom or get something to drink and sit back down and try and pick up where you left off, it's gone. That wasn't saved as long-term memory. Your short-term memory has cleared it. So everything you learn starts as a short-term memory in the front of your brain, and if you save it to the back of the brain, that's long-term memory. In order to be able to recall that, you have to find where that's saved in the back of your brain, or you have a path to the back of the brain. So you have thousands of long-term memories stored in the back of your brain. Some you use every day, some you use very infrequently, like my kindergarten teacher's name was Mrs. Fordyce. So I haven't thought about that in 20 years, but that is an established path that I was able to go back easily and find where that information was. So when you're studying or you're trying to memorize something and you're reading out of your book and you're repeating it, that's short-term memory. You're playing the Simon game. You have to put that in the back of the brain. So what you do is you get a few set of facts that you need to remember. You go away and you do something else, and then you come back and you try and find the path to where that fact is, and then you've established a long-term memory. The more you do that, the more secure or the more ingrained that path is, and the easier it is to access. The other trick is you do that reading at bedtime. When you go to sleep, your brain releases a chemical that triggers long-term memory. So whatever you were doing before bed is more likely to be established as a long-term memory. So you study whatever you really need to memorize and have available for your test or for long term. You go to sleep, you wake up, and first thing you do in the morning is you go find that information in the back of your brain. You don't go to the book because that's short term. You say, what were the 10 things I did before bed? And if you can find them, then those are now long-term memories, all right? If you do that another time, that becomes more ingrained, because if you just do it once and you've made a path and you don't go back for 3 months, you can't find that path anymore, and that's no longer an accessible long-term memory. So taking information in bits, starting as short-term memory, distracting, doing something else, going away, and then coming back, and without any cues, being able to find those things, then that becomes a long-term memory. Dr. Greg Castello, thank you.